Well, hello and welcome to another informative Fox 411. It's all being brought to you by the great folks at CG Public Health, cghealth.com. We thank them for sponsoring this. This is just a kind of a way to inform the public of what's going on. It could be benefits, could be fundraisers, any nonprofit type of organization. And today we are graced with Nancy Jewell. She is our guest here today. I've known Nancy for quite a few years, actually, and I think I want to say it's almost been a year since we talked last year. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Harry.
You are in charge of the Freedom in His Grace. Now, what is that, first of all, to tell our listeners?
Okay. Well, we are a ministry, but we are a 501c3. We've been in operation for about 7 years. Our core ministry is to help women getting out of addiction and incarceration. And so women who have maybe completed a treatment program locally or somewhere, that finds out about us can apply to our program. We're a Christian-based sober living program, and we have a host home model. So those who are accepted are housed in individual homes, kind of like almost like a foster care kind of situation, with a woman from our ministry who has been trained and biblically mentored and can host home them in their home. And so that's our core ministry. We are, though, involved in a new project, which I want to talk about, too.
Exactly. I just want to say you've been around for a few years doing this, right?
Yeah, about 7 years. We've been a nonprofit and working with women in the area.
That's right. So, yes, so it's been busy. You've been working really hard on this, and hats off to all the wonderful people, all the volunteers that have helped out with Freedom in His Grace. You are trying to build a low-barrier warming shelter. Well, first of all, where are you at on this? Well, no, number one, what is it for, I guess?
Okay. Well, I've been on a community team for about 4 years, and I was just a member, and many members want this to happen in the community. And there wasn't any service agency that was willing to launch it and to operate it. And so over a period of time, our ministry has been able to see that possibly they could help with that. So I went to my board and we voted and said, yes, we would be the service agency or the fiscal agent. So that occurred about a year and a half ago. And so then we've been working with this community team. We were trying to find a building, trying to find the right place, working with the city. And we finally did get a building, and it's located at 410 North Washington. We took possession in December of 22. And now we paid for it completely. And that was like a blessing. I tell you, we got a grant from the Phyllis and David Murphy Foundation, and we were able to purchase the building. And so we owe no debt for the building. And so now we're in construction mode. We went in front of the city and got approval for the plan. And so that's where we're at. So we have to raise quite a few funds to be able to put it in operation, because there's a lot of code requirements to be able to have overnight accommodations for men and women. And that's what a low barrier shelter, I'll tell you about, is. Low barrier means as little barriers as possible for somebody to enter the shelter. And so our model right now is adult men and women. They would present at around 9 o'clock at night, between 9 and 11 at night. They wouldn't have to show any ID. They don't have to even tell us their name. They don't have to be substance free. They do have to be substance free on the premises. But if they maybe would be under the influence, we still welcome them as long as they can maintain safety and courtesy. We'll have showers available, limited laundry. They'll be able to sleep and rest, charge their phones. We hope to have a possibility for them to have their mail there, and they could pick it up during the week. So they would stay with us at night, and then at 7:30 in the morning, we shut down, and then they take off and do what they need to do in their day. They can come back every night if they want to during the season, as long as they, are compliant. Of course, we're going to have some rules, right. Very simple rules. It's just common courtesy type rules. No substance use on the premises, no threats, no violence, no weapons, things like that. When they come in, if they have their backpack or whatever, we ask them to change their clothing because we want to have safe clothing on them. So we have like sweatpants and t-shirts and stuff. In fact, so many donations have come in for that. And then their backpack and those personal items, we don't even look at it. We put it in what's called an amnesty tote. It's locked up. If they choose to leave at 2:00 in the morning, that's fine. They check out and they come back the next night. It's not in and out all night long. It's you're in, you're out, you're out. See you tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Wow. And how many are you going to be able to house?
We're hoping that we can house up to 30. It's going to be on the main floor of the building. The house that we purchased is over 6,000 square feet. It's basement, first, second, and there's a third floor. But the shelter will be on the main floor. That's what we have approval for the plan. So we're hoping to house up to 30. We haven't got exactly that number yet, but that will be our goal. If it's a little less than that, that's fine. We'll just meet whatever we can with the city compliance. And it's going to be cots. It's not like beds or mattresses. It's basically cots. It's a shelter and it's a warming shelter. It's not like we're not competing with the shelter here in town. That's a very great program and people can stay there long term and get a lot of assistance for housing and things like that. Ours is really, our main focus is to expose them to the love of Christ and just give them a place to be for the winters that's safe, caring, and we'll go from there.
All right. I would think this is new for Mason City, and you probably have to go to like what metro areas to even have some of these warming shelters.
Yeah. We visited the closest one that we visited was in Winona, Minnesota, and that's they're wonderful to work with. And that's out of Rochester, kind of oversees them. Catholic Charities oversees them. So, and they're a warming shelter. They just operate from about mid-October, like we will, when it starts to get cold, to about the end of April, when it starts to warm up.
Okay. Well, you can find their progress and a little bit more information if you follow them on Facebook. freedominhisgrace.org is the website. And now we're going to talk about food because you have a fundraiser for this low barrier warming shelter.
Yes, it's one of our fundraisers that we're having on June 19th. So mark your calendars down from 5 to 7 p.m. It's called the Whole Enchilada Cook-Off. So who doesn't like an enchilada? Yeah. So there's going to be 3 chefs, a chef, Jay, from Northfield, Minnesota, and Julia is one of our chefs. She's a teen volunteer for our ministry. In fact, she was the one with the idea. She makes a great enchilada, and she said, let's have an enchilada fundraiser. And so that's how it was birthed. And she'll be cooking. And then we have a local pastor who's going to remain anonymous right now. So there'll be 3 different types of enchiladas that people will come through the serving line, and then they'll be able to vote on which one. It'll be, we won't tell you whose is whose until the end and who the voting is. So, and we'll be providing rice and beans with the plate. We'll have gluten-free available. The rice is gluten-free. The beans are gluten-free, and we'll have a gluten-free enchilada as well. We'll have takeouts available. Once the food's gone, it's gone. So get there early.
You're doing this at the First Baptist Church.
Yes.
On East State, right? Okay.
Yes. They're a partner with us. They've really, open their arms to wanting to see this happen, the Low Barrier Warming Shelter. So it's the first event that we've had there at their church. So that's at 125 East State. Come through the side door there. And come and eat.
How do you judge all this? Are the people the judge?
Yeah, the people are the judge. Okay. So in each enchilada, they'll get a half of an enchilada from each chef. Right. And there'll be a toothpick in each colored toothpick. And so after they eat, that toothpick will go in a bin, and then we'll just count the toothpicks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you already have your cooks.
Yes, we have the cooks. Yeah.
You don't have anybody locally that can jump up. Hey, I want to get in that or whatever.
Well, they'll be next year. We'll take people for next year if it goes well. We'd love to have it be an annual event. We kind of like to have traditions, and so if this goes really well, which we think it will, we'd probably continue to have this every year. We have a walk every year, and that's coming up in July. Mm-hmm. So that's on July 8th. on a Saturday, and we'll probably talk more about that in the next few weeks. So
you bet it. You bet. Well, that's on a Monday night. It's from
yes,
5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I just want to tell you all, as a grandfather, so my granddaughters are involved in t-ball and softball and all that kind of fun stuff or whatever. This is before that game. The games usually don't start till after 6. So this is great. You got time to stop by First Baptist Church, 125 East State, and be part of the whole enchilada cook-off.
mm-hmm.
And it's a free will offering, by the way. Suggested $5 per plate.
Yep.
I'll throw that in so everybody knows. But for everybody listening, remember it's freedominhisgrace.org. Or you can go to see their Facebook page, and you can see all the information about the Enchilada cook-off, and also more about the low barrier warming shelter, and basically about your whole cause that you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. Nancy, just I just think it's wonderful what you're doing. This has been needed for a long time. You've seen the need. And congrats on the 7 years it's taken, I guess. But
I know.
in here. This is awesome. So, and by the way, one last question: where do you meet for your ministry?
Where do we meet?
Yes.
Now we're meeting at the ministry house at 410 North Washington. So we have Bible study open to the public on Monday night, 6:30 to 7:30. And so that's where we'll have all our operational stuff out of now too. But like I said, we're in construction. It's not like it's ready to just move in yet. So,
yeah,
but anybody who wants a tour, get in touch with me. I've taken a lot of people through the house to show them the vision, the layout. And once you see it, it really changes people's perspective, I think. It's more like a home, not like a residential facility. And we really want to just be really good neighbors in that area to the people that are around us and to those we're going to serve. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Nancy, thank you so much again. It's Freedom in His Grace. And by the way, in is INN. Get it? In as in, well, hotel, I guess. Freedom in His
right.
Grace.org.
It's like there's room in the inn. There's room in the inn. There's no room in the inn.
Or you can find them on Facebook as well. So, all right. Well, have a great turnout, I hope, here for you.
I hope so. Thank you so much, Harry.
It's Monday, June 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church, 125 East State.